Okay, so here today we have this Huffy riding mower. When I first got it, wasn't running. The transmission was frozen. Well, not frozen, just stuck. Wouldn't let me select any gears. And so I got it running, did a carb clean, swapped in a different fuel tank because the last guy swapped in just a tiny push mower tank and just super tiny. This one is like a 4-liter tank, so it'll last me a little bit. I got the transmission unstuck. So it's actually an H transmission. So we have 2 sets of gears. So we have reverse, first, second, and third. And so it lets me select reverse, but reverse doesn't do anything. So the chain inside the transaxle must be broken. And it lets me select first, second, and third work all just fine. So I'm gonna have to take apart the transmission. I did a CDI swap. The original point system was shot. The entire wiring harness for the points was just bare metal. The insulation was all gone. And another problem I had was after 15 minutes, my carb would just start leaking, like the float got stuck. And so after a couple headaches, I took the float and I shook it, and there's gas in the float. So in these old Briggs, older engines, you'll have floats that are brass and they're soldered together, and I guess that solder job just gave away over the years. But it's up and running now. I plan to do a custom exhaust, maybe down here. I'm gonna make floorboards right here to rest my feet, because the deck was down here and that's what you rested your feet on. But I'm gonna just weld floorboards on either side of this. I'm also gonna strengthen my tie rods. As you can see, these, I don't know, I don't trust those for high speeds. The engine runs perfectly. Like, it runs like a top. And I plan to do a whole design on here. I'm gonna wire wheel all the old red paint off. I was gonna do a patina because this thing has some nice rust, and it'd look really cool with some linseed oil and a little bit of exaggeration. But my girlfriend didn't really want me to do it, so she wants to rattle can it. Whatever. I plan to put a light bar right here. And so since I have a CDI now, I don't have a charging coil for my battery, so light bars don't take up much energy, so I'm hoping it doesn't drain my battery as fast, and I'll just plug in my battery once I'm done riding. But this thing's gonna look sick after it's done. And so right now, I'll just grab the starter rope. Right now the starter's actually seized. Starter doesn't turn at all, but whatever. So this thing does have 2 options, electric start and pull start. I want to get the electric start working. So the pull start, just a simple hook around and wrap her around. Trying to do this with one hand here. I got her tuned up. She idles. Could use a little bit of lower idle, but I don't really care. Engine doesn't smoke blue, so that's good. The last guy who tried to revive this thing gave me a fresh plug and fresh oil, so I'm glad. So I'm gonna try to pull this thing right now. So she does smoke a little bit blue, but I think that's because there's some gas in the oil. Because the entire tank just drained, and I think some gas is in the oil. The reason why it sounded weird there is because I had to adjust my high screw down there. I had to give it a little bit more gas. Because when I opened it, idled fine, but when I opened it up, it just didn't want to go. So I just unscrewed the high mixture a little bit, gave it a little bit more gas. Yeah, as you can see, it runs pretty good. It all works. Yeah, I could definitely just restore this. It's all here. It's all original. Well, except for the gas tank, but that's about it. Could restore this, but I don't know. Kind of want to make a racer out of it. Yeah, that's all for today. And see you guys later.